Let's welcome back to the show senior legal correspondent for The Federalist. It's Margot Cleveland. Margot, it's so good to see you again. You know, Margot, you've reported on this. The president repeatedly denied that he ever talked to Hunter Biden about Hunter's business deals. Let's watch how the president repeatedly denied it. Look.
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings.
And so how do you know?
Let's talk. Look, here's what I know. I know Trump deserves to be investigated. You should be looking at Trump. Trump's doing this because he knows I'll beat him like a drum.
Okay, you know, the President Jimmy Cagney routine. But now the Daily Mail reporting Joe Biden caught on voicemail that he did leave with Hunter Biden in 2018. The president at the time talking about the New York Times story covering Hunter's business deal with the Chinese criminal Hunter Biden, nicknamed the spy chief of China. Let's listen to this. Watch.
Hey, Palace Dad, it's 8:15 on Wednesday night. If you get a chance, give me a call. Nothing urgent. Just want to talk to you. I thought the article, at least the thing online, it's going to be printed tomorrow in the Times, was good. I think it's clear.
I think you're in the clear. What do you think, Margot?
I think that the scandal here is much bigger than Joe Biden lying about talking with Hunter about his business. And this is where you got to put the picture and the pieces together. This was 2018. CNN reported that Hunter Biden was under investigation in 2018 about his business dealings. What I want to know is, when he's saying you're in the clear, is he talking about the Times article, which doesn't make sense, or is he talking about knowing what's going on in the investigation? I also think it's key that the Daily Mail reported that there was a FISA warrant to be obviously surveilling these Chinese spies. So the question I have there is, what did Joe Biden know? Because the scandal, the bribery, took place from 2014 to 2016 when Joe Biden was in the White House. So I think that there's a much bigger scandal than just Biden lying about knowledge of the business dealings.
Yeah, there's allegations, alleged. We don't know. It's all alleged, right, about bribery or whatever. I mean, this was Hunter's deal where the Bidens reportedly got paid nearly $5 million from CEFC. This is China's energy conglomerate backed by the communist government, a big player in China's Belt and Road push to dominate world infrastructure. So this is the, you know, that's what that deal was. And the players at CAFC, one has gone missing and the other is in prison for bribery.
Right. And that's actually the bribery I was talking about. So one of them has been convicted of bribery. So I don't think that's alleged anymore. So the question is, was there a pay to play going on? Was there something else going on? And this investigation has been going on since 2018 in Delaware by the U.S. attorney there.
So here's the thing. When Hunter is referring to the spy chief of China, he's talking about Xi Jinping, who's gone missing. He was the one who was running CEFC. Yi had met with Hunter at a Miami hotel in 2017 to talk about this partnership with this China's CEFC to invest in U.S. infrastructure and U.S. energy deals. So Hunter and his family was making money off of China investing in U.S. infrastructure and U.S. energy, when China's trying to dominate the world's infrastructure and U.S. energy in its global Belt and Road push.
Absolutely. Excuse me, I have a frog in my throat there.
That's okay.
But this is a huge problem, and the media is not covering it.
You know, if Republicans tell us that they take back Congress, they're going to start investigating reports that Joe and Hunter Biden shared bank accounts and expenses and income. So it looks like they're doing a deep dive into documents. What will you be looking for, Margot? I know you're having trouble speaking, but we just want to get your last thoughts on that.
Sure. I think we need a special counsel now, and I also think that they need to start putting this out there for the public to see. We need to see these documents that they've been seeing. And we need to see how serious this problem is.
Got it. Margot Cleveland, thanks for joining us. Go get a glass of water. You'll come back soon. It's good to see you.
Thanks.